we're good, look at yourself, don't bring that energy over here, bye.
Oh, you're trying to get back together with me? And I'm just like, no.
The whole "it's not me, it's you" situation.
Why have we all got a Sasha Fierce inside us? Like, something doesn't go quite well in relationships or situations or in life.
I know, because I'm like, what's going on? And I know there is...
Oh, why are we like that? I forgot what I was going to say then. Let's start again.
Okay. So
Maybe that's how I was like.
I think there's so many relationships where people make you feel like you're losing your mind. Like, have you ever been with somebody, or even like when you're friends and you found out something about them and then like you confront them and then they're just like, no, you're being crazy, and then it makes you feel like you really don't know what you're talking about. Toxic relationships are like something that you find yourself in that you don't like have a way out of it, but also it's not like helping you become better. It's like just making you worse and like making you feel bad on like the inside. And even like toxic relationships can like also change how you look on the outside, like make you gain weight and like just give you stress pimples because they are stressful. So I guess like relationships that are stressful in a negative way that you like don't know how to fix. I guess that's how I would explain it.
I think like what you said about it, it's not always with men or women in a relationship. I think it can be with like your family, your friends, maybe like someone that you work with. You know, there can be someone that can be just something as negative all the time. Like that can impact you in a way of you're taking on then their stresses or their worries or, you know, their problems, you know, like you can pick up that energy and that vibe. So I think it is important that it's not, when you say like a toxic relationship, you're not just talking about, you know, with your partner or a male or, you know, a female, whichever your situation is.
For me, it's just someone who is not your cheerleader. I mean, I quite like personally reassurance through life. I like to feel like, you know what, yeah, I'm making the right decisions, I'm on the right path. And sometimes it's nice to be able to just turn to your friends and be like, am I doing well? Or is that the right thing to do? Or even turn to your boyfriend and be like, is that the right thing to do? But
and also be about people that push you to do the wrong things. So like, you know, if you're someone who like struggles with addiction, you could have a partner that also kind of like fuels that addiction. They could like trigger something within you as well. So it's not always about like them being negative, but also like how their behavior like affects you, if that makes sense. So like, say you're with somebody or you have a friend that like loves doing coke on a night out, but then that like always turns into you guys doing coke together, like that relationship is toxic.
I'm not embarrassed to say I feel like one of my relationships was a bit toxic, and at the time I felt like, you know what, this person's got my best interests and they're guiding me to not make bad decisions. But now 5 years later, when I look back, I think no, actually it was more toxic than actually trying to guide me to do the right thing. So I always feel like it's a fine line between guiding someone versus we're our own person, so let us make our own decisions. It's a tricky one, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think like sometimes I feel like the relationships that we've had in the past, they seem like wrong or they seem toxic to us later in life because we really didn't understand what the point of the relationship was. Like, if you don't really understand who you are, you're probably not going to be in a relationship that's healthy for you anyways. So, like, just being with someone based on the fact that you just like being around them, or you might feel like you just need that person to just be there for you, that can just like turn toxic. Because like, if you don't understand who you are and like you're just blinded by love or blinded by affection or whatever, then ultimately that's not going to be good for you in the end.
Yeah, of course. And I always think that's like one of the major reasons why like my last relationship didn't work out, because we was like in love with each other and we loved being around each other, but we were so young and it's like, did we actually like each other, if that makes sense? Like we we loved each other, but did we actually like the deeper layers of who we both was? And then at the same time, because we was young, did we even know who we were at that point? Like, the person I am now is completely different to the person I was then. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so just I think in them situations, so I think deep down, you know, don't you? You get a judge of a person and of your friends. Like, it's like there's, especially when it comes to like your friends as well. I think deep down, you know really who your true friends are, because you know they'll be there for you when you're making your mistakes, but they'll also be there for you on the other side, you know, getting you through that. And you know, let's say you are going through like a bad breakup, that you know, you could say to your friend, don't be with that person. It could go absolutely Pete-tong, but then you know that they're there for you at the end of it. You know, they'll be there to go for drinks with you, they'll be there to go, you know, to take you out for dinner, they'll come round for a cup of tea to check up on you. You know, I think with your friends, deep down, you know who your true friends are, and they'll be there for you in them type of situations. And
okay, so thinking a bit more in depth about like toxic relationships, or what defines a toxic relationship, the word isolation just comes into my head because of my experiences. So like I've been in experiences where I've been in relationships with a boyfriend where I felt quite isolated, but I'm someone who's got like quite a lot of friends. Well, at least I think I have anyway. So I always used to think like that's not something that I ever thought that I would feel. I didn't think like I would ever feel like I'm an isolated person or a lonely person, because I've got such a huge family and quite a lot of friends as well. So I never thought like I'd be that person to feel isolated. And then because I did feel isolated, it started making me feel needy towards that man, because I was like, well, I feel isolated from everyone else, I just want all of your time and attention. And then it turned toxic, because it turned into me being a little nag and wanting to kind of sit on his lap 24/7. It's just,
yeah. In what way was he like treating you to make you feel that way?
I don't think he was necessarily treating me bad, I don't think that'd be fair to say, but I just feel like because it was new and shiny and we were feeling in love at the time, I feel like everything was just revolved around him. And I'm the type of person where like when I love someone, I'm 100% for that person. So I was like 2 feet in, everything was about them, and I was so concerned in my day of like how to make them feel good, how to make them feel happy. And I didn't really think about it until maybe 2 years in, and I realized exactly like literally 2 years in, I like kind of like, it was horrible. I woke up and was like, I don't see my friends anymore, and I don't really do much things for me anymore. My days were kind of like, what do you want to do today, babe? And like, oh, look what I got you, and look where I'm taking us. And it was one of them rather than what's for me. So I never thought I'd be that person where I'd feel isolated, because I can't like moan to you as much. And so I felt like isolated. I felt like it was just me and him, and I had to kind of just like iron it out and get over it. Like,
a side note to that though, Malika, do you think that could have been in your situation? Do you think communication could have changed that, or do you think that was two individual personality clashes in that sense?
That was just something that I would consider as toxic, because not saying it was ever like intentional from him or from me, but to me, looking back now, it was definitely toxic, because I felt alone, and I wasn't alone, but I felt alone, and that was really scary actually. And I think now going forward, I would never put myself in that position again. Like, it's so important to make sure that they're connected to everyone else.
You know, let's just say a couple of months in or a couple of weeks in, and you realised, you know, a little bit earlier on, let's say, what was happening, and you thought, you know what, actually this isn't going too right. Or, you know, not the way that I want it, you know, it's not for me. Do you think communication in that sense could have helped, in terms of like sitting down and saying, do you know what, listen, this is how I feel, you know, is that something that, you know, you can help me fix that? Can you, you know, is that something that you want? Do you want to be in this relationship where it is a 50-50, or, you know, at that point, then that gives him, not the outcome, but then that gives him the opportunity to say, do you know what, actually, I'm happy at what I'm putting in, I don't think this is right. And then people get so stuck in them relationships where it becomes the normal for them just to be with that person, or that's how they feel comfortable, does it?
So you're right, communication from my end would have been key. But also, Sadie, I'm the type of person where if I feel like I've seen you too much, I'd be like, girl, I'm not speaking to you today, get out my face, I'm going to have a day off. But I wasn't that person in that relationship. I wasn't. It's just weird, because it's something I can't actually like pinpoint and put my finger on it and say that is why. It was just something that like I feel like just rolled. I don't know.
So I think, like, on the topic of communication and stuff, it's so hard to communicate to a partner when you think, like, at least for me, I always think, like, my partner, or I used to be this way, my partner needs to be like a mind reader. They just need to know everything that's going on with me. I don't need to say anything to them. If something is wrong, they should know. So like I used to always be like that, and like that kind of communication was always really hard for me. And I like relate to you on that way, Malika, like when you're talking about you were in a relationship for 2 years, and like at the end of the 2 years you really just felt like so alone. I was the same way. Like me, I basically was just like, listen, it's me and it's not you, and like we need to just not be together. But I just couldn't tell him the truth of like, listen, I don't feel like I feel like I've outgrown you. Like we can't be together.
Oh my God, yeah. That is the word. Outgrown is the word.
Yeah. It's like, it's so hard because like, even if you did love somebody at one point, if you guys are not growing together to like come to this main thing where you guys can like go like this, then it's just like you're growing apart. You're growing apart, and that's it.
Communication is key, because you can talk, sort your issues out, or not sort your issues out. What else is there? And have you got any ideas, Malika, of just some quick words of what you think would describe a toxic relationship / friendship?
Toxic relationships, toxic traits, controlling, communication, feeling on edge, criticism, isolation, mistrust, it's not me, it's you, abuse.
So when it comes to toxic relationships, there are some toxic traits like control issues, feeling on edge, communication, criticism and judgment, blame, mistrust, isolation, the whole thing of like, it's not me, it's you, or it's not me, it's me. What am I saying? And abuse.
Not having your best interests at heart, being a bugger.
What about you, Kai? Have you got any words?
Yeah, I think like being judgmental and like criticizing without offering you any way to like fix your problems or your flaws. And also within that, like not being accepting of you, trying to change you, blaming you for things that aren't even your fault. Like the list goes on though, because I really feel triggered by this. I feel like I really
I feel vulnerable, so I'm sitting in my hood like,
I know. I need a hoodie now. I need a hoodie because I'm like, what's going on? And I know there is a good chance that like at least one of my ex-boyfriends is going to be on watching this. So last year, like the most popular and most used word last year was toxic. So do you guys think that word has been thrown around like too much?
Some little things that are minor, or the person doesn't necessarily mean in a bad way, can be misconstrued as toxic because we've seen someone else's story or had someone else's experience, so we're like straight away we're quick to judge them. We're like, it's toxic, you're toxic, but really maybe they just doesn't know, they didn't mean it or whatever. But then sometimes that's what these toxic people want you to think. They want you to think that they didn't mean it and they didn't know what they were doing, but really that's the toxicity of the situation.
I know, like I think it is used so much because like there are so many toxic people and like things that they do, like just be doing the most for no reason. But it's the same thing with kind of like cancel culture, you know what I mean? Like me personally, when my relationships like start going bad, basically that person is canceled to me. I'm like, oh, we broke up, you weren't supporting me, bye, you canceled, I'm never talking to you ever again. Like, I'm not even lying to you, okay? Like, literally last week, it might have been 3 days ago, this boy that I was seeing last summer for like literally 2 weeks hit me with a memory on Instagram of him like taking some pictures of me, and I was like, why would you even send this to me? Like, what do you think this is doing though? First of all, I have a boyfriend, and number two, like nobody is trying to talk to you though. Like I literally haven't talked to him for more than a year.
Yeah, stop begging it. That's toxic.
I know. He's toxic. If you're watching this video, get off because you're stalking me.
Hilarious. Kai.
I was about to say, just off the back of this podcast, you know, social media is gonna make all my exes tight, so it's fine.
So, like, does social media have any kinds of impact on whether we see relationships as toxic or not? But also, does social media itself have a toxic or negative impact on relationships?
Oh my god, relationship goals. You're like, that's social media goals, hun. That's not actually relationship goals because you don't know what goes on with them. So, yeah, social media is like just so when it comes to like relationships because it just makes everything so, it just like is so vague. It's just very vague.
What do
It's
you
easy.
think?
Yeah, it's easy to hide behind a picture, isn't it, on Instagram? Like you said, you know, you can post like, you know, a happy mum and dad. And, you know, I do it all the time. If you look on my post, it's all the posts on all my Instagram pages are all my kids having a, you know, laughing a giggle, and, you know, it's all happy days. But it's not those times when they have full meltdown. So in that sense, just right into that, it's easy to hide behind a picture.
I don't take social media that deep because I hardly post. I post my story, but I don't like post on my main page or nothing like that. But for my own personal posting, I'm not out here posting my lessons. I'm only posting what I've been blessed with. So if I've had a good day, I'm posting about it. If I've had a crappy day, I'm not sitting there posting like today's been shit, I've done this, I've lost this, etc. But just in terms of relationship wise, I'm currently dating someone who's got quite a big profile on social. It's hard sometimes seeing like some of the comments, some of the activity, but at the same time, like, people think I'm crazy about it, but likes and stuff like that on social media does not bother me. Like, as long as me and that person directly have got the communication, I wouldn't be around someone or trying to get to know someone I didn't trust from the first off. Obviously you build on that trust, but if in the interim like something's sussy and I think they're a bit of a fuckboy, then I'm already over it. I've already moved on from that situation. So like, social media for me, it's kind of like a hit and miss, but for me it depends where it comes from, because like you can see girls comments on your man's stuff, like loads of things, and 50 comments will go completely over your head, and then one comment you'll be like, why is she commenting that? Like, what does she mean?
What about this though? Okay, so when you're dating somebody and they like don't reply to you, or they take forever to reply to you, but they watch your story, like
Ooh.
So I have real life experience of this, because the person I'm dating at the moment, you know who you are if you're watching, I'm gonna slate yeah, because everyone says it about him. He is the worst person in the world for texting back. You can text him now saying, I'm an emergency. You know what, I'm gonna test it one day and time it for you girls and send you it. I could text him now and say, it's an emergency, yeah. He will dead ass not text back for like 5-6 hours. So all we do is FaceTime. Like, we're constantly on FaceTime, because if I FaceTime him now, he'll answer, and he'll just be like walking around with you doing what he's doing, but you're on FaceTime so he can hear you and chat to you. But you text him or WhatsApp him, dead ass, like, he'll be online, posting on Instagram, so I know you're on your phone, but he will not reply to a text. So
I could not. I couldn't do it.
But you're on your Instagram posting up, liking people's pictures, but you haven't looked at the meme that I've sent you, and then he's
Oh
like,
my god.
I know, he's like, just FaceTime me in it, and then like,
See, do you know what? I can relate to that though, because I think I'm that type of person. I'll answer the FaceTime, like, even like being in quarantine now, like, obviously there's not a lot to be doing, but there's always something to be doing, whether it's cleaning, cooking, entertaining the boys, you know, just chilling, having me time. If someone's on FaceTime, I can just leave them on the side and pass around. You could send me a whole heap of messages that require my whole brain power, and I just think, I just don't have the time for you. You have to just wait until I'm in bed, and sometimes I can see a reply. Like, have you ever sent someone, I know this is coming straight off the subject, but like, if someone puts like a story up and you send like a reaction and it's like, you know, the heart eyes, and then they reply back and they're like, oh, how are you doing? Haven't seen it. And I think, no, I didn't want that reaction. I just wanted you to say, you know, thanks for liking the picture, move on. I don't need the whole shebang.
I agree.
I'm the same. So yeah, just take the reaction, take the heart emoji and move.
Oh my god, I know. It's like one of those when you see somebody in real life and then they like message you after you see them. They're like, it was so good to see you. Like, you didn't have to do all that. You didn't have to do that. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
But just going back to the point, Kai, you asked the question, so I want to know how you feel when someone kind of ghosts your message, but is posting up and stuff.
Listen, okay. I used to date somebody not that long ago who used to take literally years to message me back. And I was livid, okay? I would be like, first of all, I know where you bees at. I know where your hood is. So, like, don't make me come over there. So, I just felt like, honestly, I was getting mad crazy over it. We were only together for, like, a couple months because literally I couldn't handle it. Like, he has kind of, like, a high profile, not, like, super, you know, famous, but within Liverpool, like, high profile. So, I was just like, I don't care what you're doing, who you're talking to. Like, if you can't make time for me, you're not having me. Like, that's
Exactly.
just it. Like, I'm sorry, but I can't. And then when we broke up, basically I was like, listen, I can't be dealing with you anymore. I've had enough. He was just like, yeah, okay. So I was like, okay then. But then it left me with this feeling of like we didn't have closure. But after a while I was just like, you know what, it doesn't even matter because in my books I'm better than him and he needs to get a life because I literally tried so hard to help him and he just is gonna wallow away in his own sadness and be by himself. So
okay,
that's what I'm saying.
Sorry, just to cut you short, but there's a video that I really think is quite interesting that I want you all to watch. Insert video here.
Dead.
Oh God, this just broke.
What do you mean?
Why don't we talk anymore?
We still talk.
Samuel, we've talked 4 times in the past 3 weeks.
I didn't know you were keeping track.
It's not hard to count to 4.
I guess I've been wanting my space lately.
More space than 1,000 miles?
Why are you so upset?
Why do you keep asking me that like I have no right to be?
I mean, I guess it's normal to be a little sad, but I don't think you should be as upset as you are.
Okay. Please tell me the appropriate amount of upset I should be, and I'll try my best.
I don't know. I just feel like you should be okay with me not coming to see you or talking to you all the time. It's not the end of the world.
I'm not threatening to throw myself off a bridge. I'm just irritated and confused. I miss you. Is that not okay? Like, I have a heart. You're in it. I can't help feeling like this.
Yes, it's okay to miss me, but do you love yourself?
What? Of course I do.
Then it shouldn't hurt you like this to be without me. Maybe we should just tone it down a bit, get some space, and see where things take us, okay?
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. That's fine. Why are you FaceTiming me?
I want to make sure you're not crying.
I'm not.
Then can I see you? Please see?
Even while he was ripping my heart out, I couldn't say no to him.
When I was watching the video, I was really like waiting to see what was going to happen between them, but I already knew what was going to happen. You know what I mean? Because we all know guys that are like that. Like, we all just know guys that are just like, they just think that they run the world. They think that their shit is amazing. That whatever is in between their legs is from God. Like, and it's just not, you know what I mean? And like, I just have had enough of guys that are like that. Like,
me, that video triggered me because of the part where she says to him, you tell me how upset and how I should react to this. Baby girl, don't cry. Why are you letting him tell you how upset you should feel? It just made me feel triggered because I just thought, like, remember when we were young and like that first little like sickly feeling you get like right there and in your stomach, and it just makes you feel like you're gonna vomit, but you've got nothing in there to vomit because you haven't ate because you're stressed about the whole situation. And I just feel like, no, I was triggered by the video about you tell me how much I should be upset. I was like, baby girl, no, we go to his house and tell him how upset we are. That's what we do. You want to now see the damage that you've caused. Before, you didn't know why she was so upset. Oh, but now you want to see if she's crying. Why? You're not obviously not asked. It's just annoys me.
See, it's sad, isn't it? Because you know that does actually happen in real life, and you wish that you could just take everyone under your arm, couldn't you? And be like, right, you know, don't retaliate to it. But people have got to make life lessons, and you know what? It makes them a better person learning from it. I think so. Make them mistakes, girls, but learn from it. Don't do it again.
I mean,
No,
God,
absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
I'm all for, people having to make their own mistakes, because I've got a younger sister. She's 6 years younger than me, and like, she is at the age where I was really like messing up a lot in my life, and not like majorly, because obviously like I'm doing fine now. But sometimes I just like hear about the things that she does, and I'm just like, why though? You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I know that I can't stop her from like making those mistakes. But I just hope that like her and just all of my friends, just learn from the mistakes that they make, move on, don't be letting them toxic ass boys into your life, and find somebody who is going to treat you like a queen.
Yeah. So, but that makes me think of self-love. Like, when he asks in the video, like, do you love yourself?
Triggered.
Mind your business, first of all, because you wasn't interested, text me back. So mind your business if I love myself or not. You know what? We have to just own it, is we're just psychos by nature. We are psychopaths.
No, but men be pushing us though. Like,
they
really
push us.
pushing
Don't get me wrong. They do push us, but it's already within the beast. We are just crazy. I love it. The fact that I'm crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't poke the bear. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing it? If you know I'm crazy, don't fucking test me. Like,
exactly. Don't be crying about it to your little bitch ass friends thinking you're a gangster.
Oh my God, honestly, Malika, don't, because like this relationship that I'm in right now, I've had the least problems. Like, and I'm just like, we're just staying together forever, because I don't ever have to feel like I have to freaking go in his phone, talk to his friends about what he's doing, where he's at, because that shit makes me so fucking tired.
I know.
And I've done it with like all my other boyfriends, especially the ones that look mad good. Like, boyfriends that are like really fucking good looking, terrible. They're the worst men.
It's the innocent looking people that are the worst.
Yeah. But like, one of my exes, like, he lives in Liverpool, so I just like, I see him when I'm out, and he's in the scene as well. So like, we do the same kind of thing, you know what I mean? So if he is out, then I see him out and about, and then I'm just like, what do we even talk about? Because I feel like he always gives off that vibe of like, oh, if we speak, you're gonna think that, this is an opportunity for us to get back together. And I'm like, but like, I just want to speak to you and just like say hi, but that's why we can't be friends, because he always gives off that type of like, oh, you're trying to get back together with me, and I'm just like, no.
See, I haven't had that problem yet, thank God. There's only one ex I don't really speak to, and that's my choice, because every time he does speak to me, he's always like, so what you saying then? Like, it's a thing, No, I'm not interested in you anymore. My new man's hencher than you as well, so it'd be awkward. Get it off your chest, girls. I want to hear some stories or what your thoughts are about, like, when we talk about toxic relationships and that kind of thing. And one of my pet peeves was when I was in a historical relationship, shall we call it, he used to tell me that like I'd spend 3 hours getting ready for a night out, and I'd be all ready to go, and I'd say, oh babe, do I look nice? And he'd go, oh, I don't want you going out in that. And then all of a sudden my whole night just used to go to like, don't want to go out. I used to feel dead sorry for myself. And then I got to the point where I was like, you know what, bitch, actually I love this dress, it's a freaking dress, Beyonce called it, I'm going out in it. And that was when I knew the relationship was obviously coming to an end. When I stopped caring. But that was one thing I wanted to get off my chest. I used to hate that man, but every time I'd get dressed, he'd look at me and go, do you know why you're wearing that? And I used to think, I look nice. Are you mad? Instagram says I look nice. I got 300 likes.
The gram approves.
Yeah, literally.
It's mad that though, isn't it? One person's opinion can like bring your whole moods down.
Yeah, and I knew in my head that like I look nice. I was just asking because sometimes, like I say, I like cheerleaders in my life, so it was nice to have your boyfriend kind of, clapping you on, like, yeah, my girl looks good, but instead he was a hater, and he said, like, no, don't like that dress.
They're just mad because some men just want to possess you. Like, I always have just been like, I have no time for any man that is going, or woman, doesn't matter, who is going to try to possess me. Like, I need to be free. I need to have my own space, my own things, and if you don't approve of my lifestyle, you can say bye.
Gotta get out of here. So Stacey, go on, get it off your chest. Anything that you want to rant off your chest.
Oh yeah, so my toxic, whatever the word is moody old woman that I work with. She's looking at me even calling her a woman. She is the most miserable, negative, energy consuming, boring person. I was going to say another word that begins with a B, that's 5 letters. You can all make it up. And I hope she's listening. If you are, hi, hon, I'm younger than you, and I know and that's why you hate me. And her ex-husband was black. So she used to come in and she'd be like, oh, I've made stewed chops, or I've made, like, you know, fried plantain, or I've made this. And I'd just be like, brilliant, love. I mean, it's you know, a regular, you'd have a Sunday roast, I might go make a pan of lamb, or do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a big thing to me, but I felt like it was always this, well, I can cook black food, and, you know, I'd do like a pan of lamb on a Sunday, and I'd always take it in every Monday, and she'd be like, oh, you make that yourself? And I'd be like, yeah, I have, love, why, what's your issue? And so I've always felt like she's had a bit of a problem, but she was always nice up until a point in where, anyway, we had this argument over something. She's ageist and she thinks she's better than everyone, but she frumps through the office. So she works in the end office. So, you know, when someone walks through past your desk and it's like she has to make sure that her presence is fully felt. It's like you walk into her wall of like negative energy. And I just look at it and I just do this, go, morning.
That's the best way.
And I watch her walk right through the office and I think, not today, hun. Like, really, she's, it's honest to God, the vibe is just so, like, negative. Like, even little things like you go make a cup of tea. If someone else is there, you leave the milk out so they can use the milk after. If it was me, she purposely put it back in the fridge.
I don't know. I feel like I outed a lot of people in the video already. So I guess that's really like all I had to get off my chest. If you really feel hurt about what I said about you, maybe you just need to look within, reflect on yourself. Don't be mad at me. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I'm good, love. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Over here.
Love it. Love it.
See, the way we were like, we're good. Look at yourself. Don't bring that energy over here. Bye. With it, you know, why are we like this? Why have we all got a Sasha Fierce inside us? Like, something doesn't go quite well in relationships or situations or in life, we all turn into pure vulture psycho. It's just not. Why are we like that?
It's for Kai. I don't know if you know, but Scousers are like renowned for being absolute, in the nicest way, lunatics when it comes to like relationships and being in an argument. Like, we have to have like the last word, you know, we've got to do the most in an argument, we've got to be happy to the nth thing. Like, it's like, it's, I don't know why, Malika, I don't know if you know why, but it's like, have you ever heard of it, Kai, that Scousers are like crazy in the situations?
I have enough Scouse friends and been on enough nights out in Liverpool to know exactly what you're talking about. That's why I don't go out anymore.
We are just queens of petty. We have to get the last word, and we're so feisty and like fierce. We have to just like, now we're not having it. But everyone makes me laugh because the guy I'm dating's not from Liverpool, and he says when I get vexed and don't get my own way, he says I get more squeaky. He says like I get more high pitched and more squeaky. Yeah. I get all like flustered and that on myself. And it can be over minor things like Nando's have got our order wrong, and I'm like, no, it's not okay. You know, no, it's not okay. You know, no, it's not okay. You know?
Yeah.
I did not know that this is what it was going to be like to live in Liverpool. You know, some aspects of Liverpool I love, and then others I, you know, could take it or leave it.
Like, so Scouse girls are psychopaths, and I'm like, I know we are, and we're proud of it. We don't hide it. Don't trigger us then. Like, use our poking the bear. Use our just making us the psychos. So leave us in peace, and everyone's happy.
It's funny, like you said, when you go high pitch, we talk faster as well. Have you ever noticed that? Like, if I ever go to London and like I have an argument with someone like on the phone, or I'm talking to someone, and it's like dead fast, and they're like, didn't catch a word of what you just said. Do you want to repeat that?
Like, it's a new language to them, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm in the moment, you're gonna have to just leave me a minute. I just need to this needs to come off me chest. But I feel like it's a bit of, not a front, but you think about everything, like I've seen in terms of Scousers, like everything about us is so dramatic. The hair, the makeup, the outfits, the eyebrows, the eyelashes. I mean, Kai, you know about the Scouse brow. Everything about us is like so like
extravagant.
Yeah, so we kind of, we must have at some point realised, okay, well, we can look like that, but we also need that attitude to back it up. You know, we've got to be able to front it in an argument, and, you know, we've got to be able to hold our own in any situation. But that's one thing that I can honestly say about Scousers is we do, you notice it when you go like out to town or you go to, you know, places, you notice that you hold your own a lot more, and a lot more people like, I'll be like, oh my God, why she got that in the head? And I'd be like, what are you wearing that for? Like, why do you think that's okay? Do you think that's acceptable? And it's like, it's so out there and extravagant. But I don't know why we're like that. We're a special breed, aren't we?
We're just hella extra. Like,
so guys and girls, that wraps up our episode 6. So talking all things toxic, relationships, Scouse beds. But if any ladies or gentlemen out there have felt triggered by anything that we've talked about, then please reach out to your friends, to your circles, to your family, but also feel free to reach out to us as well if any of us can be any of help. Just do not suffer in silence. If you think someone is toxic towards you, you're probably right, because you know yourself best and you know what's good for you ultimately. So reach out, discuss it, get some advice, and figure out what you need to do to make yourself happy. Love yourself first. But thank you to listening to us today. It's been a joy. And don't forget to follow us on HUN.podcast, Instagram and YouTube, Facebook. Thanks, guys. Bye, Sadie. Bye, Kat.
bye.